In our last 4 sessions, we discussed a letter from a man whose wife constantly made comments about his driving. We talked about how he could change the way he saw her and the way he responded to her. It all involved changing him, not her, even though her behavior was admittedly quite negative. I also suggested how he could describe to her the effect of her criticism on him. Now, back to the writer of the letter. Despite your calm approach to her, however, she might continue criticizing your driving. Then what? Do you have to live with this behavior that affects you in such a negative way? No, you don't. And you shouldn't. You really don't want to be around behavior that has a negative effect on your ability to love your wife. Anytime something consistently drains our ability to be loving, we need to avoid it until we can become loving enough to deal with it. Let's imagine, for example, that you're on a weight training program, and your goal is to progressively become stronger. You start by lifting 10 pounds, then 20, then 30. One day you jump from 30 pounds to 60 pounds, and in the process you injure yourself. That would detract from your goal of progressively being able to lift weights, wouldn't it? You'd be foolish to try to lift 60 pounds again, wouldn't you, since it injures you? So you should avoid lifting 60 pounds in the near future and stick with the lower weights until you can gradually build up to 60 pounds eventually. It's the same with love and relationships and situations. If there is a situation that is well beyond your ability to handle, then stay away from it. To choose to put yourself in a situation you know you can't handle is simply stupid. And if you know you can't handle your wife's criticism of your driving, make some choices ahead of time so you won't have to listen to it. So let's do that right now. What can you do? Right now, you feel trapped by her criticism, and you're not. A relationship is a natural result of the choices people make independently. She actually has a right to choose to criticize your driving, but you have a right to choose not to listen to that criticism. So, if you tell her the effect of her criticism and she continues to criticize you, sit down with her again and again with complete calm. Tell her that in the future she can certainly criticize you all she wants, but you will not participate in such conversations. She is now free to make one of 2 choices when you two go to the same place in a car. 1, the 2 of you will travel together and she will drive. Or 2, you 2 will travel separately. You'll go in separate cars, or you'll go in a car and a bus, or you'll go in a car and a taxi, or you'll go in a car and a bicycle, whatever, but you'll travel separately. Notice that you're not telling her what to do. She can still choose to make her comments about your driving, but you will then take separate transportation. Or she can choose to drive with you as a passenger, or she can choose to stop making her comments if she wishes. Remember that you are simply making your own choice and offering additional choices to her. If you do any of this with anger, you'll only be miserable and hurt your relationship. Eventually, as you feel more loved and loving, you may actually become capable of hearing her critical comments on occasion without feeling irritated. With real love, everything becomes much happier.